this nightmare. So, those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the week may not remember, but we still have the Donathon running. So, I'm going to be continuing to work on what I owed y'all from what was unlocked earlier on during this whole event, which means I'm still stuck here in Sonic 1. Still suffering away at that one, since we didn't make it through it on Monday. Wheel of Pain is still in play, of course. We still have all of the requisite things active. As you can see, we of course do only have 4.5 hours on the timer. If that timer runs out, we are done. And I will raid out and all of that. Now, for those of you that don't remember as well, I did make a stipulation as far as getting through Sonic 1 goes, where I would allow myself save states if it went to a second session of having to get through this game. Now, I will add one addition to that, though. And that is, I will only save state per zone. I will not save state per act. So I think that'll make it a little more interesting, so there's still stakes involved, where I'll have to redo a zone if we run out of lives. But this way we aren't redoing the entire game over and over and over and not getting anywhere like we were on Monday. Originally I was going to do the art stream today, but I just wasn't really feeling it, and I didn't want to give you guys a half-assed art session. And I feel like having the hard set timer floating there would also negatively impact a session like that, so we'll roll with it. You will still get your art stream in the future, and I did the math. Make sure you are currently 70 away from unlocking that karaoke stream at some future point. So, if y'all want that, you're gonna wanna pony up the money on that. But, we'll see how things play out. Let's get this ball rolling and get back the feel for this nightmare here. As we learned last time, I really should just focus on getting as many rings as I can so we actually have lives to work with, because that will still benefit me even with the save states. So... and if we actually manage to get through Sonic 1, I will probably just start Sonic 2, because I owe that as well. That's why I'm not too concerned about using the save states, because we have plenty of games to get to. And I feel like this will mean we get through a game a little bit quicker. If I'm not just locked in for eternity, you know? Which, you know, speaking of locked in for eternity, some could argue that the point of a Donathon or Subathon would be to lock the streamer in perpetuity. But, you know, one problem at a time. I feel like I'm taking a completely different route than I usually do through here, and I really don't know how I didn't know about that routing. I feel like I did go there one time out of all the times we went through here. And then I promptly forgot everything. Which, you know, distraction will do that. Oh, and if anybody wants to have an update as to how much has changed on the list or what is unlocked, just let me know. The main thing is we now owe Hollow Knight and Hades 1. Need to be gotten through at some point. I did not receive any other requests from the people who had donated as of yet. But the option remains open to them, as the option remains open to all of you as well, since you do still have 7 free choices granted to you bot and chat collectively. So if you so choose to make use of that, you know, speak up and you will get your one choice. I'm I'm willing to consider giving people multiple individual choices at this point, since the timer is getting on the lower side. So, even after the timer runs out, I would probably be willing to consider giving people those choices. You just wouldn't be able to unlock more choices. And even if the free choices aren't all used up by the end of the event, polls will still be going up on the channel and on Blue Sky as time goes on until they're all used up. I want to make sure people get what they paid for, like we talked about basically every time. And I do apologize for any confusion that taking Tuesday off from the actual event may have caused, though I did warn you all that I was planning to do that for sake of keeping things a little more coherent. But anybody could have missed those memos, etc., so just reiterating for the sake of people who may not have caught everything. Oh, and as a update on something else I said I might consider, even though I had said I was against it before, certain situation changes amongst a variety of social medias and such, and the current declines in certain results for me has led me to actually considering the idea of opening the Discord to the public. Now, it will be in a kind of limited capacity, admittedly. And it's currently looking like it will be a branch of the collab Discord will be opened to the public, basically, is the idea. I took a poll of the group as a whole, since I had promised them that this wasn't going to be something that was going to be busy public access. Oh, god damn it. I missed my exit again, but we did get the ring, so we should at least be able to hopefully get a continue out of this trip or something. But yeah, it's currently slanted very heavily towards allowing that Discord to be opened more publicly, so I will be making the necessary changes over the next couple days to make that publicly accessible in a way that I'll be happy with and won't interfere with its original intention. Basically, like I said, everybody will have access to a handful of sections, and there will still be a lot of collab-specific segments to the server. And I will more than likely maintain the original rule set I had for the collab Discord, which will be primarily just don't make a nuisance of yourself. If you make a nuisance of yourself, there will not be much discussion. You will just no longer be there. As I've mentioned on numerous other occasions, I don't exactly have endless amounts of energy for dealing with a more public front-facing Discord, so do not be shocked if the moderation reflects that. And it may not be ready by the end of this week like I intend it to be, and if it isn't, it just won't get sent to public yet. I'm intending on making sure to do this right, so that there will be minimal cleanup required, for lack of a better way of putting it. I already had to do a lot of cleanup when I was figuring out how to set it up as the collab Discord it became. So we shall see how all of that ends up actually playing out. But now you all know the intention there, in case, for whatever reason, you want to get excited about that as a concept. So we gotta continue, and we are 2 for 2 on emeralds so far. Progress, progress. Yeah, the main intention behind that Discord, and I'll just be upfront with all of you about that right away, is mostly just going to be a means for people to get announcements and things. It's not going to have, like, big events and such constantly going on in there or anything. At least that's not my current intention. It will most likely end up being a pool by which more people can be drawn into the collab side of it. So there will be a benefit to creators for joining it. I do not intend for that to be the sole purpose of that, but the option will remain there for people. Because honestly, chasing around on social media for people is starting to, well, for lack of a nicer way to put it, drive me up the wall. As one with a limited social battery, there's only so much of that I can handle doing. So I'm gonna try to make both sides work as best I can, I suppose is the best thought process to put forth there. And I'm making my intentions clear there, specifically because this is a change from what I had originally said. And I do not, by any means, anticipate this taking off huge or anything. I will be honestly shocked if it does. But I've been wrong before. Sonic, why are you being a pain? Why are you not launching properly? Oh, it's because I was... Yep, it's that thing again, where even if I'm pressing in the direction he's going, he slows down. It's a weird interaction with things like those springs. I remember now. I remember that that's terrible. We should be getting that life here soon. I feel like I'm having an easier time because I'm just absolutely focused on what I'm talking about and not at all what I'm doing. So the automatic movement from what we had done on Monday is just kicking in and riding to victory for the most part here. Because there's no overthinking happening. Because, you know, it's the second I commented on it, everything started going to hell in a handbasket. That's just how these things work. Now that said, I don't really have too much else to add on the concept of the Discord. I am open to people requesting things of it. Like, if you've got features and such you want, I will be willing to consider that. I cannot guarantee anything, because, well, part of it will depend on me being able to do it, one, and for two, how much maintenance it'll take. Because if it's something that will need constant monitoring and maintenance, it ain't happening. Just gonna tell you that one right now. You go on, Eggman. And it will also be slow going finding moderators for it. Because as you all know, I haven't even gotten a moderator for the channel yet, let alone someone specifically for a Discord. So bear that in mind as well. And there's save state number 1 because we've entered a new zone. Those are going to be zone-specific save states in case people missed that note. Basically, slightly better continues. Well, slightly better and slightly worse. They're slightly better in that I don't have to farm for them. Slightly worse in that they are not going to put me right where I was. So I think that's balanced. Now, for obvious reasons, we are going to just continue regular schedule, whether the timer runs out or not. The timer running out today just means we end when the timer runs out today. And it means I no longer have a specific time limit to anything I'm doing. And you all will not be unlocking anything else if the timer runs out. My intention tomorrow, though, and I'm gonna say this now while I'm thinking of it, is to do those 4 free requests I had offered before the Donathon had started, because we're running out of time before Christmas to fit them in. So before anybody's like, but you promised things in the Donathon, I promised these before the Donathon started, so I kind of do need to get those paid out at some point. And trust me when I say, we will be paying off Donathon incentives probably into like a third of next year, if I were to hazard a guess, based on what we have in the pool so far. Probably longer than that now that I've also got Hollow Knight to contend with. Not that that game's super long, but there are parts of that game that are kind of a nightmare. And so far, there's not been any stipulations placed on anything, so I'm not going to be, like, 100%ing any of those at all or anything. Oh, and in particular, I'm going to be just trying to get through it, because that's going to be problematic enough in and of its own right. I honestly would not have said getting through this would have been an issue, but here we are in day 2 of playing it, so, you know, clearly what do I know? But that's also what you get when you see a lot of people that are very good at Sonic play Sonic, and not really have the context of the average play for it anymore. Saw where the emerald was, but getting back there is going to be its own special part of hell. I don't know why I'm trying to parkour in ball form here. There's definitely a better way to achieve my goals here. That long fall we just did, though, was the thing I was kind of worried about. Wait, progress? Yes, yes, yes. No, stay up there. You cursed spinning fool. Nope. On the bright side, another continue, I think. So maybe I won't even need the save state, because I'm going to use the continues before I use the save state. The save state is just the final straw if everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, to the point where I cannot go anywhere anymore. There we go. Maybe I'm just paying better attention today or something, because we've been on a good roll here so far, and I'm waiting for that to turn against me, if I'm honest. Though having a day and a half of rest probably helped the old brain meats actually stop being cooked. Or at least as cooked. And I did consider starting at what would be normal time for any other day, but I figured people might get confused by that since I had already said that we were going to be starting at Thursday normal. And despite this being a special event, I had made no real claims that it was going to be anything different timing-wise. These spikes remain the worst thing. Except they're not actually the worst thing. We learned what the worst thing is when we got to Scrap Brain Zone on Monday, and learned just how awful they decided to make everything in those last couple zones. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, we were only one zone away from beating the game on Monday. I hate these centipedes so much because their hitboxes are a question mark. As you would think with him arched up like that, you'd be hitting a vulnerable part of the back, but you don't. You hit the spike anyway. And I cannot keep that in mind. Like, there's just a part of my brain that sees the attackable spot there and just goes, no, that's the only thing that could be true. And then disaster happens over and over again. Yeah, if we hadn't made it to the second to last zone on Monday, I probably would have given myself more leeway on the save states. Like, it probably would have been like, hey, I'll just save state per act at that point. But considering the progress we can and will make, that's why the rules are the way they are. We'll just have to wait and see if it actually works out in any meaningful way. You know, things were going so well until I decided the platform wasn't necessary, when the platform was in fact necessary. I cannot get through this hallway around these things today. That's one thing that's gotten worse rather than better. Everything else doing better. That one, screwing it up. It'll be fine, though. It'll be fine. No matter how much this game fights me, we will eventually make it through. And we're still up a life compared to most of the times we've been here. In fact, I think any time we've been here, actually. And I know we're up a continue because we actually have 2. Instead of only having 1. Or occasionally not having any. It really seems like you just absolutely have to aim for the head on those guys, otherwise you just have a bad day. Physics? There we go. Everything's fine. No need to get ahead of myself. That was greedy, but I had to. Once I had the other 2, it's like, nope, I gotta try. I gotta try. It'll look too cool for me not to try. You know, ignoring the odds that I might die. Why I decided to rhyme, I don't know. Certainly wasn't that exciting a rhyme, that's for sure. I'm surprised I got away with that. I don't think we're getting enough rings before the end of this stage to do anything with. I'm pretty sure there isn't 33 more ring. Yeah. On the bright side, we are going to activate the big ring that I missed. You saw me jump. Just didn't matter. Those funny slopes strike again. Making sure I hadn't forgotten to turn audio back on or anything. Since, as usual, Tuesday night we had turned the desktop audio off for me to check raid targets and such, even though we didn't end up following through on that. Why must you bite me with your butt? Why? Yeah, because over there was just lava, so we want to go this way. I just gotta remember that you just roll when you get over to the side here. Or where the blocks are. Oh, ideally roll better than that. There you go. Eventually, Sonic will make headway, and we will get all the rings here. Just, you know, gotta wait on the block. As we slowly lose our minds because the block is not very fast. I say slowly, but that would be a lie. Come on. Avoid you entirely. Don't have to deal with you. Which I suppose is the lesson I should have learned a long time ago. Is just don't deal with the centipedes. I still so heavily disagree with the fact that the top side of those spikes is damaged when it very clearly would not be the sharp part that you'd be stepping on there. Very clearly rounded up until the actual point. But no. Why would that matter? Well, we're definitely not getting a life here, that's for sure. Like, I would say that that's a given at this point. Unless there's an extra life somewhere that I just happen to never find. Right, that was a shield, not an invincibility brain. Way to go, bud. Way to go, me. Speaking of shields, though, there is a shield to grab up here. Are we really going back for this? Answer is yes, I'm going back for this. There we go. That was something. Also, okay, no, there is ground there. I was gonna say, I think I fucked up, but we're fine. Everything's fine. Run free, animals. Be free, unlike us. Run. Run. Looked away for a second and the thing came down. Because of course it did. Just like a watched pot never boils, a watched spike never falls. Unless it will land on your head. Well, you know what? I'll take that trade. Not that the rings matter at this point anyway. I'm, as I said, reasonably confident there is not enough rings left in this stage to fix this. But we'll make do. We'll get what we can get, because at least it's something. The more rings I'm carrying, the less likely it'll be that I'll lose all of them. At the very least, so, you know, we got that going for us. I say as I promptly do in fact just lose everything. Well, never mind. Instant rebates. And instant losses again. You know, it's almost like nothing's changed, really. You know how they say the more things change, the more they stay the same? Yeah, here we are right now. With that exact scenario. But hey, I'm actually going into this fight with rings on, like, every time on Monday, so... Small victories, question mark? One of these times, I'm really worried that I'm gonna miss that jump and end up just falling in the lava trying to hit him. Because I think we all know that eventually that's going to happen. And it'll be very funny, even if I will be upset. In some cases, especially because I'll be upset. Eh. Okay. I get rid of the crab. No, he's fine. He doesn't go all the way over. Next save state. Zone by zone, we will give ourselves leeway. Especially if I'm playing like that. I think that's actually the first time I got hit by that particular bee. Come on, let me in. I'm going to get in there eventually anyway. You may as well just accept it. Thank you. You can keep that one ring as a peace offering. I wish to leave. I have places to be. And that's why I didn't go full tilt, because I remembered how that goes, but I missed the jump over the spring instead, so... You know. When have I ever managed to make a completely good decision? I think usually I jump over that. I don't trust myself or the slopes enough right now. It's weird how these two spike balls are so completely in sync. I blame magnets. Somehow magnets are responsible for them being perfectly lined up like that. It's probably not true, but you know what? I'm gonna believe it anyway. I've chosen this reality, therefore this is my reality now. I saw that. I looked right at him, looked basically down the barrel of that gun, and decided I needed to jump there anyway. How did I get away with that? You know what? Sometimes I'm better off not asking questions. After the mistakes I'm making, I will take a bank error in my favor. At least this stage has a lot of rings, at least in some parts of it, so we should hopefully still be able to make up for the losses. I say very much just telling myself lies, probably, but you know what? That's how we survive. Yep. That, and away... I said away, away my rings go. That's what goes away. Now we're not gonna be able to make that happen. Now we're not making enough rings before the end of the stage, I don't think. I just gotta not open my damn mouth sometimes. Almost got crushed there. Also... Oh, it opened down here. Huh. That explains so much, but also nothing. I guess that's just a way to go around up there, so I could have actually avoided losing my rings. And hey, what do you know, the end of the stage, so it wouldn't have mattered. Well. 404, rings not found. We... denied immediately. Yeah, that checks. Ah! You know, when I said denied immediately, that's not what I had in mind. Then again, I wouldn't really have being denied in mind, ideally. Sonic, please. You're supposed to be fast. Thank you. Be faster than the laws of physics. Don't ask how that's supposed to work, it just will. In his future, he shows plenty of disdain for the laws of physics, so hopefully we can just make some of that happen now instead. Come on. Up, up. Ooh. Oh no, I think there is a few rings this way. Oh, well. There's a way to lose a few rings this way, that's for sure. You'd think I would learn one of these times. Yet, somehow we keep ending up in this exact same position over and over again. We're just not gonna repeat the mistakes of the past. We will instead repeat the mistakes of the present. I don't know how I said things were going well, and how I knew it was gonna turn against me at some point. Yeah, about that. Admittedly, self-fulfilling prophecy there, but you know. Help. Help. SOS. The fact that you can end up getting jammed through those springs is a fascinating concept. You know, this is... There we go. I was gonna say, this is one of those many times I wish I had control of my life. Why did I voluntarily give up control of my life again? Why have I done this to myself? There we go. That one ring can stay there. Do not give in to the temptation of the one ring. Ooh, that was almost disaster. On through. It took longer to get across than I thought it would. And then Brain, you know the speed those move at. Why did you think dropping right back down was a good idea? Why? Oh. And then the classic, you're not spinning, so you get hurt situation unfolds. How about we just go up? Maybe going up is a better idea. I seem to recall we had better luck down there, but clearly everything has changed. What has been good is now bad, and what is bad was good. So we will try... We'll try a change of strategy. I'm pretty confident there's a lot more rings where we didn't go. Though I have some doubts as to whether it matters at this point, with the amount of rings I've thrown away. Can't really guarantee anything there. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Okay. At the end of the day, though, we're still doing better than I usually do, overall. So I will take that, and we will run with it. That's what Sonic's good at, after all. Not sure he will remember what he's good at all once he has been concussed so severely by all these springs, but, you know, one problem at a time. We can worry about Sonic's hospital bills with all the rings we'll hopefully have afterwards. If these are all as gold as they look, I'm sure they will pay for many injuries. And if not, well, we have plenty of other ways of making them pay. Really took a big risk running through there like that. I should not have done that. I think invincibility protects you from getting crushed. I believed that when I did that. I cannot say that I'm sure that that was a thing, though. That's very much a hindsight is 2020 scenario. Where it's like, you know, if I thought that through a bit more, I might not have tried that. I'm so glad neither of those crabs chose any of that time to shoot. Because if they did, we were about to be very sad. But, you know, neither first time nor last time as far as that goes, especially with that crab right there that I just killed. He's been a thorn in my side for so long. You know what? I'm not interested. I think there's like 15 rings over there, and honestly, the odds of me losing rings over there outweighs the gain. Okay, there's nothing there. But I think we're not getting up to those rings up there anymore. I think we would have needed to have done that initial run up properly, which I did not do. Remember, I need to get ahead of that block, so we won't worry about getting all of these rings, because there's more rings to be had right here. Oh, good. I guess we despawned the block, so we actually get to have our 100 rings right here. Perfect. That plan would have worked if I'd done that before. I didn't think it was going to, so I hadn't tried it on Monday. But in hindsight, I should have considered the fact that a lot of things despawn in these games if you outrun them. And what's that one thing that Sonic's good at? Oh yeah, outrunning things. Including most of his life problems. I think we're still going down this way, though. Just because landing on that platform is going to take time I don't feel like spending. I believe we usually take this path down here. Okay, good. Every time I have that fast drop down one of these pits, I really do just, like, have this internal clench of, like, oh god, I'm going to fall into a death pit because they've decided to pull the floor out from under me in this particular spot. And it's because of the area we're standing in right now, and this bit coming up right here, that I feel that way. Got him. Gotta do that one quick or you don't have much floor left to work with, and it starts getting real bad. And I did not want to die there because of the amount of times the floor just didn't exist when we came back. It would have been a problem. I swear, if this ends up being the run where we just fly through the game, I don't know what I'm going to do with that information. Aside from honestly not be surprised, is one, I'm coming at it fresh, and two, it'll make the save states pointless. Which is what always happens. Which is honestly half the reason I even use them, is so that my brain will somehow make it work immediately afterward. Is the existence of the save states for some reason changes the situation. Probably a difference in confidence to a certain degree. It's like, okay, I don't have to worry about it, so I don't second guess everything to pieces, which then inherently makes the thing easier. So there's logic there. Ooh, that was almost bad. Store the air. There you go. Yep, I knew as soon as I slid off of there that it was done for on that one, but I didn't have much choice. Should have known the water physics were going to be the thing that was going to throw me today. I should have known. I also acknowledged the trick I was trying to pull on myself, so now it's not going to work anymore, too. Shenanigans like that only work if you don't say them out loud. Come on. I'm being needlessly cautious with the air, and I know that. But if I'm not needlessly cautious with it, the one time I do actually need to be careful, I'm not going to be. We've already experienced that before. There we go. Do that way better this time. Give air. Thank you. actually go spinning down this time. Get that platform out of the way. Because there's more rings in here. Gotta make up for the life deficit now. Not that we have that much of one, but every little bit matters. Every life we have is one less life I need to worry about in the future. Oh, goddammit. Well, hang on. Gotta prevent the anxiety music for a second here, and then we'll go back to trying to get the button pressed. Because we need to press that button to get through. There we go. Alright. Everything's fine. Almost got sent to the sky, which is not where we want to be, even though I would like to leave the water. No. None of that. Sonic, why did you not even start moving that time? You saw him just, like, walking in place there, and it just was like, nah. Nah, I refuse to move. Oh, that was all much closer than it needed to be. Like, even though we had the shield, so I didn't need to worry about it, I was very worried about it. Guess you forgot that that was a problem. I'll give you a hint, it's the guy who's now crushed into those spikes over there. Wait, is there a ping over there at this end? That's weird. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Back to business. More people setting up Christmas-specific things, so they're all out of sorts on their timing. Air. Show him the error of his ways. Okay, standing on the button doesn't count for activating the platform. Good to know. Let's not get carried away, quite literally. No. Hang out here for a moment. I have to point out that aside from the extra continue, we are now back at the point we usually are at when we get here. So maybe everything will just work out now. Maybe the game just needed to balance itself back down. What's up, Natra? Just getting a little bit destroyed here. Don't mind me. You know, basically business as usual. Come on. Make the bricks go. Oh wait, no, this is one of the ones needed a button. The button's up there. Which is why I went up here and got crushed to death a minute ago. There we go. Absolutely not worth the sacrifice of all of those rings, but it's the only way we're getting anywhere, so... some sacrifices will have to be made. So honestly, we're not getting 100 rings in here anyway, probably. We're certainly not getting it in the one where we're gonna have to do the Eggman chase at the end of it. Because even though we've learned that I don't have to be as fast as I thought through that, invariably I'm going to do it anyway, because brain is brain. Why? I hate the way you get slowed down by water physics in this game, because it's not consistent. And that's the thing that fucks with me so badly. Because he just did not have any get up and go there, so he ended up stuck under that spear. And just like, hey, I hope you didn't want to accomplish anything, because Sonic is not interested in accomplishing things today. Like, you almost have to just rush through this segment just to not have that screwball-y nonsense happen, but I don't have much of a choice. Those spears are not synced up well enough for you to just sprint through it. Now I gotta wait for the water to come up so this moves up. That's most people's problem, and honestly, in 2, it's the breath mechanic that'll get me. In this one, the water physics feel a lot harsher, so I'm really just annoyed by that. Because they definitely do feel different from game to game. I think they may have realized they went a little too hard with it for this one, so they pared it down a step. Give air. And they really are so generous with bubbles here that it's the breath is a non-issue. Hitting the corner of blocks, that's a much bigger issue. Because I was trying not to go too far toward the spear, but also go far enough to the other side to get through, and yeah, didn't take the end of the middle too well there. So I didn't talk about this when we were doing this on Monday, but the water levels are another one that kind of goes against the idea of you want to go fast. You physically can't go fast when you're underwater. Even if there wasn't blocks to jump on, you are just slowed down so much. Oh yeah, it's this section where they teach you about sliding on the water, and then they'll make you do a lot of it later. Really? You just didn't want that air, huh? I don't know where his other 2 option things went, but we'll take the fact that he doesn't have any of them anymore. I'm fine with this. Come on. Now, I will be nicer than I was on Monday and not say that the physics of this are particularly bad, but they are definitely an acquired taste, I think is the more honest phrase there. And I don't have the taste for it. And I mean that for the game in general, not just for the water levels. So I find it very interesting how we keep having those situations where I can break those boxes from the side. Which is not, I would think, what you're supposed to be doing there, but it works. Sonic, why won't you spin? There you go. I think he kept hitting the edge of the box, so he was technically stepping onto the box instead of jumping properly. I'm not gonna worry about getting that last ring up there, because I should find 5 more rings before too much can go wrong. Like I said, before too much can go wrong. Things will go wrong. But there's the life. So at least we recouped one of our losses. These are the blocks I need to make fall. Let's just wait on top of here for the bubble. Yep, because I knew we were going to be in danger. As nice as it is being able to look around, I really do wish they didn't attach ducking and looking down together. I understand that it ended up being that way. It's a good thing that doesn't matter anymore. Okay, that's more of an issue, though. Give me those. Yeah, considering all three face buttons jump, they could easily have just made look down a face button. In fact, they could have had look down and up be buttons instead of directions, which 6 in one, half dozen the other for up. It just seems kind of silly to me to have these buttons here and not use them. Yeah, I know, Sonic, you're panicking. It's fine. You know, it's easy to be a lot less anxious about the water music when you have 0 value for Sonic's life. If it doesn't matter to you whether he lives or dies, the water is a lot less of a concern. That's not what I wanted. But we're over here, which is where I need to be. I just wanted to get the shield. But we're gonna end up going and getting the shield anyway, because I'm gonna get caught on that again, and... there we go. It's such full of odd decisions. And I'm sure they were necessary odd decisions in their time, it just confuses me. Either way. Wait, no, I wanted to be over there. Brain? Brain, we need to have a talk about your self-preservation instinct sometimes. Case in point, that is exactly the problem. I did forget to upload the dance you gave me there, Natra. I meant to get it sorted out, and then I got distracted today, but it will get done. Welcome in, Mr. Dark Remnants. Welcome to Anxiety Music again. There we go. Everything's fine. Why was there a 3 when I touched that? Odd. Oh, right. The spring is a pain. There we go. We'll get some more air, and then we'll go. Yep, this is exactly why. Come on. I could have gone chasing after the other bubble, but that was going to end poorly, and we all know it. This is kind of like switching lines in the grocery store. The second you switch, somehow it's gonna go faster in the one you left, and you're gonna end up in a worse position anyway. How it always works. Okay, making progress. All of the tunneling robots that want me dead. Oh, yeah. It sure is a ride and a half to go back to something like this. Remember, I don't need to attack Eggman. Attacking him is actually completely pointless. It's just a lie to make you make stupid decisions. Learned that last time. As much as you may want to attack Eggman, and I understand. Oh, this is a problem, though. And we're good. That's right, you better run. Yeah, exactly. All it does is hurt you, but the thing is, it's placed in the same place you would have every other boss fight, so you can easily be tricked into thinking you have to defeat him on the way up, until you get up there to the top for the first time and realize it's pointless. There's the next checkpoint save state. Those are only for when all of the lives and all of the continues are exhausted. Just to make sure we actually finish this, unlike Monday, where we were stymied like 3-4 times in a row. Come on, Sonic, you need to get up there. You need to get back up there. We've done this before. I hate these slopes so much. I don't know who thought the way these were designed was a good idea, but I vehemently disagree. There we go. Just wanted the extra life, but you need to get that bridge off screen so it'll go away so you can actually go there at all. Nope, that's called having useful features, and that wasn't a thing in the first game. That is only a thing in the second one onward. The only feature they figured out for Sonic 1 was how to hate the player. And then they started understanding other things afterward. There's nothing over there. I don't know why I thought there would be anything over there. I was hoping they were hiding things from me. Neither have I, if I'm honest, and I never had played the first one that much. I played 2 a lot more. So the only reason I'm even knowing what I'm doing as much as I am with the first one right now is because we played it on Monday trying to get through it. Yeah, that sounds about right. A lot of people ended up playing Sonic Adventure. Sonic? Sonic, do you want to have a talk about what just happened, or are we just gonna ignore that? Huh. Of course that happened just in time for the ads, so nobody's gonna understand what the hell transpired there. I love when my game decides to do what it wants. It leads to such fascinating experiences. Really, it's the slopes again, though. The slopes are the source of all evil. It's the way he's walking on the slope that caused him to clip through the floor there. Because he got caught between the fan and the floor there. I'm kind of surprised that it actually didn't just crush me to death somehow. Since this game is very prone to deciding that's what you need to have happen. I don't think we went this way last time we were here. I want to say no, we had to go this way. But there's also 20 rings there that I'm now not going to get because you can't make these go down after you're on top of them, apparently. I see. There's a fan here, so I ain't going anywhere that way. Oh, hope I don't need those rings to get a life. It still messes with me so much that you can cross gaps like that, even though it makes sense. I think... yeah, there we go. Yeah, because the only way to technically spin dash is if you just roll while you're moving. Because that's the only version of it he has in the first game. Oh, you know what? Those 20 rings sure did matter, huh? Well, that's a shame. Because of where that fan's placed, I'm probably not gonna be... I probably would not have been able to make my way back. So we'll just get what we can here and hope for the best. As it stands, we're still in a solid position compared to the usual from Monday. Though I definitely had better understanding of how to control myself in here on Monday than I do now. Doesn't help that it just eats jumps sometimes. Depending on how the rotation's gone, it's just like, nah, you could have jumped there, but you would have had to have done it faster. It's another continue. We now have 3 continues when we were struggling to get 1 on Monday. No, 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 no. Admittedly, not the slightest idea where the emerald in here is, because I don't think we've ever gotten that far into this one. Usually, I failed out on that corner that we just avoided. Why is it getting faster? Does it just go faster the longer it's spinning the same direction? Oh, no, botched it. That's fine. We got a life and a continue out of that. I will happily take that. Honestly, that is worth more to me than the emerald almost. Look at that, 7 lives, and that was our 3rd continue. As long as they actually count up and it's just... and it doesn't just stay at 1 no matter how many you pick up. Because some games do that. I don't know if this is one of them. Ah! Forgot some of the fans, even though they spin the same direction, somehow reverse the suction. Very strange. But maybe it's a... maybe it's an optical illusion that they spin the same way. Since they're small and spinning very rapidly, they may just look like they're spinning the same way. That was not worth it. Especially since I can just get up here like this. Now that he's not there, I can do a much better jump for those. Honestly, my secondary goal for the day is to somehow reach 10 lives. Man, those fans are powerful. We're just gonna go this way, then. I could have jumped up onto that other rail, and that might have been worth it. Ooh, that was almost the worst timing ever. Oh, come on now. There we go, much better. I think I was just, like, a little too slow on the landing with the last one. Oh, that's right, these move... I, for some reason, expected it to drop. And then as soon as it moved up, the panic reflex kicked in of, oh god, it's going to crush me. Oh, I'm 11 rings short. God damn it. Well, oh, and I missed... there we go. I managed to get control enough to turn around for the special stage. Hope you like the birds flying in the background, because we're seeing plenty more of them again. No, 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 no. Well, that did not go nearly as well that time. I just could not regain control once he bounced down that corridor. It was just over. That's fine. Okay, that wasn't a death pit. I was very worried. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to attack those, but I had to try. They're like the #1 problem in this area for me, since they're very easy to end up getting got by. Down, please. Not into the fire, though, ideally. Down, please, faster. Yep. Nothing could have been done about that. Oh, right, I forgot. This is the area with the 2 fans that trap you between them. Because ha 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 die. I don't understand the music in this area either. Like, I don't dislike it, but it confuses me. That was almost a disaster, but we would have only lost the shield anyway, so it wouldn't have been the worst thing, just not great. This breaks, right? Yeah. May as well use my iframes for that then. I was trying to hit him with the shield, but it didn't quite work according to plan. No, 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 no. Every time I try to stop to get control of my life again, there's more bombs waiting for me. Down, please. Okay, no, we ain't getting those. That's for if you took the other path, I think. And now it's time for the Eggman fight. And there goes my rings already. Oh, I just have my timing all off for this fight this time, huh? I managed to really shenanigan this fight last time we were here, but not so much this time. I'm also trying to just keep them the spike balls airborne because they don't make the bullets if they're airborne. Oh, right, I can just hit him with Sonic as well. For some reason, I thought the gimmick was that I absolutely had to use the spikes against him. So honestly, this is not a hard fight by any means, as you can see. It's just sometimes easy to get hit at the beginning of the fight, as you're getting the tempo. I'm already happy getting this far first try. Considering it took us a good, like, 2 or 3 tries to even get that far on Monday. Clearly, I haven't rusted over the course of the week too badly. I'm not gonna worry about getting those rings. I chose to worry about getting those for some reason, though. This is where everything's gonna start going wrong, especially when you mash jump and nothing happens. Mind you, I started mashing the jump button before he got to the bridge, but they just didn't take the jump for some reason. Sonic chose death, and honestly, I understand. Confronted with this act, I can't necessarily blame him. This place is fascinating, but it's also kind of a nightmare. Of course, this too has a confusing bit of music going on. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm going for it. Well, it didn't go terribly, it just didn't really go well either. It ate my jump again! Sonic, please. Thank you. Yep, I was afraid of that. I'm probably gonna want to wait when I get up there and try to engineer the timing a little bit. Come on! Sonic, please! Why did you put so many things that need to be timed together in this stage? This isn't even the final zone, it's the second to last zone. Wait a couple, there we go, try it now. Oh great, there was just no other platform. The fact that you have to, like, time 3 separate things that you can't see together, more or less, to get through this segment is kind of awful. Because you need to make sure that the disappearing and reappearing platforms are there. You need to make sure to actually land on the spinny guys, which thankfully that's not super timing heavy, but there's some timing involved, and you gotta deal with the activatable platform as well. I jumped, but it didn't jump. Well, down here might be better anyway, as we get these. This is the same path we took to get through here last time. Ordinarily, I would have let those things live, but they upset me. Okay, that's Act 1 done. Just 2 more acts of this nightmare to go. And I don't remember if we ever saw Act 3 of this zone. I think we wiped out completely in Act 2 before. I seem to recall that this place is kind of awful. Especially if you don't know what you're getting into, which we obviously didn't. Okay, that makes that platform. Yeah, and I can't get up there, so that's... There might be a trick to, like, manipulating the rotation of those things in order to get into a higher area. We're just gonna go with what I can do, which is go down here and slum it up in the bottom of the area. Except Sonic doesn't like to jump when too many things are happening on screen. That rotation in particular really seems to love making slow down. Come on now. Okay, at least we got lucky on the second set. I'll take that. Ah, come on, though. This is so dirty a trick. The thing is that Flame just doesn't want to leave, either. If you're wondering, by the way, this zone is entirely why I gave myself the safe states, basically. This is the fuckery zone, and I'm just not here for it. Okay, I managed to make it. That had to be, like, the only play to make there. I just wasn't sure I was gonna be fast enough feel like I want to go up from here, actually. You know, probably without doing that part. Oh, that was all for an invincibility. You know, maybe it'll pay off. We'll see. Doesn't matter. But that guy, apparently. He gets to live. Okay, so this was literally just to make getting down easier. You know, so much easier that I run into a projectile from a guy who's already dead. Ah, that does reach the floor. Okay, very good. Okay. That was still our best performance in that act, I think. Which is not hard to do when there's only one other to compare it to, but you know. What? Hi, Robotnik. What you doing? You gonna hit that button? Oh no. Oh no. I wondered why that didn't end immediately. Yeah, this is definitely our first time being here because we never saw that scene. Oh good, it's a... I don't know, I thought the whole bit was gonna be an auto-scrolling segment here and I was gonna be very upset. We're now in Labyrinth Zone, but gray. Oh, with purple nasty water as well. Good. Good. It's death flavored. Why didn't I pick up that ring? There was one colliding with Sonic's model as it despawned, and it just didn't give it to me, I guess. Sure. Yeah, fine, we'll try going this way. Oh wait, no, we had to go this way because we went up before and then... Yeah, it was down here that I was saying I was considering doing instead. I didn't... You know what's bad when I'd rather go through the water than deal with what I just dealt with? So, wow, I can't help but notice there's like no air bubbles down here. There's one. They're spaced out way further apart, which is no real surprise since it's multiple acts further forward. There we go. I was gonna say, am I gonna get an actual breathable bubble here today, though, game? Or what are we doing here? What? Not really where I meant to go, but you know what? There's a checkpoint here, so clearly that's where I needed to go. I was gonna try to find goodies down the other path was the thing. Okay, that's the key to undoing the damage to my momentum from the water, is jumping. That's clearly how water works, right? Your entire profile of moving underwater changes when you jump. Which, he is turning into a ball, so technically it actually is changing in his movement profile in the water. Just don't really know if that's necessarily a beneficial movement profile in the water. I guess technically it's less drag because he is smaller at that point. You're so lucky I needed air. Why did that close? There we go. But what? You know what? We'll take it. That was an error in my favor that time. I'll take it. Don't mind me finding accidental speed tech again. Come on, shoot, please. Thank you. I did not intend to jump that high, for anybody wondering. I told him to jump short, but I guess I didn't release quick enough, so he's like, no, I'm gonna jump the same height again. You can't stop me. You're not my real dad. He's taking that much more literally now, because he just decided not to take the jump input at all there. He's just doing his own thing. If this controller was older, I would be much more suspicious of this controller, but it shouldn't be having problems yet. Not that old. You know, game, this is why you usually should have, oh, I don't know, even a single ring anywhere near your checkpoints. Just a thought. Alms for a poor hedgehog. Of course, you know, it is the end of the game, basically, so I shouldn't be expecting any kindness anymore, and I understand that. Doesn't stop me wanting a little bit of hope. Okay, yeah, that's the other path right there. I wanted to check in case there was a... like an invincibility or something over there. Come on. That block go away. We'll grab some more air again because the air is spaced out far enough that I kind of need to grab every single one I can. There's also more delay on each of these bubble spawns, I swear. One block at a time. Don't double up, no matter how much you might be worried about the water. Don't let the anxiety water win. Okay, I have to go that way. Which explains why there were so many enemies, but I wanted to make sure. At least I'm not in the water anymore. I'm just in Spike Hell again. Oh good, a checkpoint when I have no lives left. That's what I needed. Oh, I did not even see those spikes there. You got me, game. You actually got me with those. I did not even see them. Well played. Less well played about that. And the checkpoint didn't matter. I thought we got 3 continues. Huh. Well, it doesn't matter. We're already in a better shape because we now have knowledge while also still having 3 lives. Still, we know the route to take now. We know what we need to do. We know what must happen. Okay. Really thought I wasn't getting an air bubble that time. Was starting to get concerned. Oh yeah, there's the button I need over there. Grab another air bubble and then we'll go get that, because it took me a second to find it. I don't know what the button requirement is to go down from there, but I do know how to get over here, and over here's good enough for me. This is another area you could have dropped into. Sonic, please, get through the gap, you jackass! Swear, if you die because the bubble doesn't appear. There we go. I was about to be very upset. Okay, stop for a bubble this time. Because you're almost to the point where the shooters are gonna be. This way we have plenty of time. Deal with both of these clowns on our terms instead of theirs. I hit the ceiling. Damn it. Gib bubble. I know you just spat one out, but gib bubble. Thank you. As everyone in here's pulse probably just was a bit, you know, it's fine. Oh, what's the matter? You're out of things to throw at me? That's a shame. I've got full lungs. Perish. Refill again. One jump at a time. One jump ahead of the bullets. One jump ahead of the death. There we go. Not this time. Sonic, you want to talk about what just happened there, where your momentum just kind of disappeared, or nah, you're good? Okay, sure, why not? Now we're right back where we died. Didn't really need that bubble yet, but you know what? I was gonna. I was about to say I took that damage on purpose, but I almost didn't get any of those rings back, which would have turned that into a very bad decision. Oh, there's just no air here, huh? There's just no air over here. There's just no air down there at all. The fuck, game? How is that fair? The only air is like at the beginning of this section where it's completely useless. That is not okay. That does mean I need to get rid of this guy, though. What we're gonna do is we're gonna kill our way forward here. I don't think we're gonna have a choice. Oh, we go higher. Okay. Oh, I might get screwed again. That's fine. Give air bubble. There we go. Come on. I hate the water physics so much. They're just so bad. It's like, hey, you're fast enough to get hit by that, but too slow to get away from it on the other end. Hope you enjoy hating life. Aha. There we go. That's all you have to do to get past something like that, is just alter your tempo, but you have to alter your tempo properly. There we go. Final zone. Checkpoint. Save state again. Okay. Okay, those are tracking shots. Understood. Oh, I see. I didn't spot Eggman in there the first time. I guess I have to hit the one that he's in. This sure isn't an annoying noise at all that it's making when it's trying to kill me. I couldn't get back off of there because of the momentum of this game. Okay, so he does switch it up after a few hits. That's the thing I didn't know. Now I have no rings to take a hit with either. Because, you know, God forbid they put like a singular mercy ring in there anywhere or anything. This might just be a case of I'm gonna have to take it real slow and careful. Especially when that happens. Just doesn't count the hit. As I slide up the side of him. I almost didn't get out of that because, again, the physics of Sonic's movement. Why are you always in the worst positions now? I had such a nice, clean start to the first attempt, and now it's just like, nah. Eggman's always gonna be in the wrong place. Good luck. I'm sure he's gonna take a fair whack of hits to defeat here, too. Come on. I understand that I smacked my head into a solid piece of metal there, but, you know, count it anyway, yeah? You're counting me smacking to the rest of the solid piece of metal, so what's the difference, really? What, hit number 5? 4 or 5? I'm much more focused on not dying than counting the hits, if I'm honest. Keep getting so goddamn close to getting crushed, and I hate it. Yep, I knew that was gonna hit me that time. But we still have our continues, so we're gonna use those, even though that's gonna mean not having any rings for the fight. Having rings for this fight only matters for the projectiles anyway. And I said I was gonna use up all my continues before I used the save state, so... I'm abiding by my rule. Just means some of these attempts are gonna end way earlier than others, because I'll just happen to get clipped by a bullet. One. Two. 3. 4. 'Yep, I knew I was landing on that as soon as I left the ground. 1. This is a very specific timing to clearing that by jumping just over them. It's not hyper specific, but it's pretty specific. 2. Especially since these things don't line up completely every time. 3. Like, you'll notice they stop at different positions. 4. Can't get that one. I could have, but I would have needed to know that he was going to be in the second one. 4. 5. 'That was risky. 6. 7. 7 was the number. Alright. And now he goes running back to his little pod that I destroy. And I'm assuming there's gonna be something else. Nope, that's it. That's Sonic 1 done. First try. Didn't actually need to use the save states. The continues I had were enough. And that is genuinely my first time beating that game, so we will go ahead and mark that down for the totals as well. Because I have actually never beaten any of them. Well, correction. I have beaten one of the Sonic Adventures, 2 specifically, but I've never beaten any other Sonic game. So that is our 3rd game for December, and our 52nd for the year. And we'll go ahead and just go straight into Sonic 2, and see if I can clean up both of them somehow.